Today we are going to start a new concept, that is internal energy. Internal energy means all kinds of energies, that is sum of all kinds of energies such as potential energy, kinetic energy, vibration energy, rotation energy, etc. That is, every substance is associated with a definite amount of energy. This energy is stored in a substance, that is nothing but internal energy. The internal energy of a system is made up of kinetic energy and potential energy of individual particles of the system. Internal energy, it is denoted by symbol U. Delta U is equal to U2 minus U1. This U1 is internal energy and U2 is final internal energy. U1 it is initial internal energy and U2 it is a final internal energy. Then U is a state function. State function, it depends upon the initial and final state of the system. And also internal energy, it is extensive property, means it depends upon amount of matter. Internal energy, it is a state function and extensive property, because state function it is depends upon initial and final state of the system. Extensive property means it is depends upon whose magnitude depends upon amount of matter. That is, internal energy is the sum of all kinds of energies. Then next point, it is the first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics, it is simply called as conservation of energy. This law is related with the energy, therefore it is also called as first law of thermodynamics. Then the first law of thermodynamics states that transformation of energy means energy neither created nor destroyed, but it can be converted into one form into the another form. This is the energy. Then some statements of first law of thermodynamics. Number 1, the total internal energy of an isolated system remains constant. The total internal energy of an isolated system remains constant. Isolated means it is an adiabatic process, no heat enters or leave the system. This is the number 1 statement. Number 2, energy of the universe remains constant. Energy of the universe remains constant. This is the second statement of first law of thermodynamics. Number 3, energy neither created nor destroyed, but it can be converted from one form into the another form. म्हणजे एनर्जी ही तयारी करता येत नाही, नष्टही करता येत नाही, पण त्याचं एका फॉर्ममधून दुसऱ्या फॉर्ममध्ये कन्वर्जन करता येतं. नंबर 4, द अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी of a system and surrounding remains constant. The amount of energy of a system and surrounding remains constant. This is nothing but the 4 statements of first law of thermodynamics. In that, first law of thermodynamics is related with the energy, therefore it is called as conservation of energy. This law is related with energy, that is, energy neither created nor destroyed, but it can be converted from one form into the another form. Next statement, the total internal energy of an isolated system remains constant. Energy of the universe remains constant. The amount of energy of a system and surrounding remains constant. The next concept, modified first law of thermodynamics. This law, it depends upon the Einstein equation E is equal to mc square. The statement is, it is the sum of mass and energy of an isolated system remains constant. It is the sum of mass and energy of an isolated system remains constant. Delta U is equal to Q plus W. Delta U is change in internal energy, Q is heat supplied to the system, W is work is done on the system by the surrounding. Therefore, internal energy of the system increases. This is the modified first law of thermodynamics. It is the sum of mass and energy of an isolated system remains constant. Mathematical expression of modified first law of thermodynamics is delta U is equal to Q plus W. Delta U is nothing but the change in internal energy. Q is heat supplied to the system. W is work is done on the system by the surrounding. Therefore, internal energy of the system increases. Next, first law of thermodynamics for various processes. Number 1, isothermal process. Isothermal process means the process in which temperature of the system remains constant. Therefore, delta T is equal to 0. If temperature of the system remains constant, then internal energy of the system remains constant, that is delta U is equal to 0. Then according to mathematical expression of first law of thermodynamics, modified first law of thermodynamics, delta U is equal to Q plus W. Delta U is 0 is equal to Q plus W. Therefore, W is equal to minus Q or Q is equal to minus W. This is the expression for isothermal process. Number 2, adiabatic process. Adiabatic process means it is isolated system. That means there is no exchange of heat between system and surrounding, are called as adiabatic process. That means both matter as well as heat does not exchange with surrounding. That means Q is equal to 0, that is no heat exchange between system and surrounding. Q is equal to 0. Then according to modified first law of thermodynamics, delta U is equal to Q plus W. Delta U is equal to Q, it is 0 plus W. Therefore, delta U is equal to W. This is the first law of thermodynamics for various processes. Number 1, isothermal process. Number 2, adiabatic process. Isothermal process, temperature of the system remains constant, delta T is equal to 0. Therefore, internal energy of the system remains constant, that is 0. And adiabatic process means no exchange of heat between system and surrounding, that is Q is equal to 0. Therefore, delta U is equal to W.